Okay, we're going to look at cash flow statements. We're going to use the year 2019 to look at this. The main thing with this question, you kind of have to understand what this is about. A cash flow statement here, we're interested in the real movement of cash. I don't care whether you still owe it or it's prepaid. I just want to know what you actually received or what you paid out. So we're interested here in the movement of cash. Now, this is one question that the wording has to be perfect. So when I'm writing the cash flow statement of a Cable Limited for the year ended 31st of the 12th to 18, has to be written perfectly. These headings in the ordinary level are actually given to you, but you need to write them out as well, because every time you write out these headings, they will give you 3, 2, 2, and you get 2 marks for all of those. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, there's 13% on the board, without even doing the question, for just writing down the headings that are there. Actually, sorry, financing, they didn't give marks for that in the year. Okay, over here, we're going to reconcile your operating profit to your net cash inflow from operating activities. So what we're going to start off with here is, you start by writing down your operating profit, which you will find in part A of your question. So you write down your operating profit, and in this question the operating profit is 135,000. You want to calculate the depreciation that took place in the year that we're doing, which is in the year 2018. Now if you look at your balance sheet, in 2017 there was 55,000 euros worth of depreciation, and in 2018 there was 70,000 euros worth of depreciation. So that's a difference of 15,000. So I want to add back 15,000. Now why are you adding 15,000? Depreciation in the profit and loss is shown as an expense, so it reduces your profit. But depreciation doesn't show a movement of cash. So I want to undo that, because it doesn't record, there's no movement of cash leaving the business, it's just showing the reduction in the fixed asset. The next thing that you have to do is show me the change in your stock. So if you look at your stock and your current assets, it was 70,000 and it's jumped up to 78,000. So you have 8,000 more stock. So you have to write down increase in stock, and your stock went up by 8,000. Does that mean that you've spent money or you've got money? Must mean that you spent money, so that's why we take away an increase in stock. That word has to be written in full for you to get the marks first. Then I want you to look at your debtors. So if we look at our debtors were 40. Now remember, debtors are people who owe us money, and they went down to 29. So that means we must have got 11,000 from debtors. So there's a decrease in debtors of 11,000, means they paid us. That means our cash went up 11,000. And the last one I want you to look at your creditors. Remember, they're people that we have to pay. We have to pay them 42,000 in 2017, and in 2018 we only owe them 35. So that must mean that we paid them 7,000. So there's been a decrease in creditors. Sorry, what did I say the amount was? 7,000. So the only way it would have went down is if I paid them, so cash is going out. So you're always looking at these about the movement of cash. And the difference between these is 146,000. And that is called your net cash inflow. Now, so you have to write it down perfect. Your net cash inflow from operating activities. Just in a question, I don't think it will come up for ordinary, but just in case it did, if your answer ended up to be negative, you'd have to change this to say outflow. Now this figure is automatically transferred right over here. So you're going to write net cash inflow from, and again you have to write out the words from ordinary activities, and it's 146,000. Okay, and again, just putting that in, believe it or not, give me 6 marks. Okay, so this is given to you, you're just writing it in, writing the answer from part A over here, and you get your 6 marks. Now what I want to do before I do the next few bits, remember I want to move into cash. I'm going to fill in this table, and I want you to look, was there any interest due at the start, tax due at the start, and dividends due at the start. Now if they were due at the start, you're going to find them in creditors less than 1 year. And if I look in creditors less than 1 year, the only thing that I have due at the start is taxation of 29,000. So there's no interest, taxation is due of 29,000, and there's no dividends due. In the profit and loss, I'm meant to pay 19,000 here. The tax that I'm meant to pay is 25. These are all taken from your profit and loss. These figures are from last year's balance sheet. These figures here are coming from the profit and loss. And the dividends I'm meant to pay is 26,000. Now, due at the end, there's no interest due at the end. There is tax due of 25,000. Okay, so this is the way your accounts look. And there's no dividends due, and that's this year's balance sheet. Okay, so I want to know how much was paid. Interest. You were meant to pay 19, there's no amount due at the end, therefore you did pay 19. Tax. You were meant to pay 29 from last year, you still have to pay it. 25 for this year, and by the end of the year you only owe 25. So that means you still owe the 25, so you must have paid 29,000. Remember, I'm trying to figure out what you paid. Dividends again, you meant to pay 26, there's no amount due at the end, so you must have paid all of the 26,000. Okay, so we just need to fill them in over across. So interest paid, and you're paying out money, so it's a negative figure. So your money is going down, it's 19,000. Tax paid is 29. Now that was the difficult one. I'm just going to go down here and put in your dividends paid here as well, is 26. Okay, looking back up here, capital expenditure and financial investment. I want to know, did you spend any money on fixed assets? That's what we're looking at there. So if you look at your fixed assets, your land and buildings went from 780 to 930. So you definitely purchased land and buildings. So I'm going to put in purchase of land, stroke buildings, because don't tell me which one I purchased. How much money did you spend buying the land and buildings between the 2 years? Well, it went from 780 to 930. So that means you spent, now money is going out, you spent 150,000. Okay, if we add up all of those, we'll know what's happened to our money before liquid resources and financing. And again, if you add up all of those, you're saying that you're down 78,000 in cash. Okay, financing. If you think of where you came across that word financing before, it's in the finance by section of the balance sheet. And I want to know, has there been any changes to your loans and has there been any changes to your shares? So if we look at this, look at your share capital first, or it doesn't matter. Your shares went from 452 to 470. So there was an issue of ordinary share capital. And how much money did you take in from selling shares? If we have a look at it, shares went from 452 to 470. So you took in 18,000. Now sometimes when you sell shares, you sell them for more than they're worth. So you sold these shares at a share premium of 15. Okay, so that's your 15,000. And we'll have a look at your debentures. Your debentures went from 200 to 250,000, so you received debentures. So you received a loan. Now if you think about receiving a loan, it means you got money. So your cash is going up. And your debenture went from 200 to 50, so that's 50,000. Okay, so that's 50, 33, 83,000. Okay, so that means overall, you're down 78, you've 83 here, so 5,000, and that's called the increase in cash. Okay, so looking at that there, this is worth 65% and this here is worth 30%, and I need to do the reconciliation. I'm going to do that for you now in 1 minute. Right, the last part, part C, is going to look at the reconciliation of net cash and movement to net debt. That's the key. What we're trying to figure out here is how much do you owe now? Has your debt went up or has your debt went down? So, like everything in accountancy, usually part A, B, C are linked. So first of all, you have increased your cash this year. So we're going to put in increase in cash. Your cash has went up 5,000. Now remember, I'm looking for a change in net debt. Your debentures have went up by 50. So your debt has went up. So your change in your net debt, you have €45,000 more in debt. You had 5,000 in cash, you borrowed 50, so realistically you could pay back 5, so you're really only 45,000 in debt. Now you need your debt, what was there at the start of the year and what was there at the end of the year. How to work these out? Very quick formula. At the start of the year, so this is the balance sheet at the end of 2017, you look and in the bank you have 10,000. You look and see, do you have a bank overdraft? No. And you have debentures of 200,000. So your debt before this year started, you owed 190,000. So up here you put in 190. Now we're saying if we add these two together, you'll get 235,000 in debt. I'm going to double check this and see is this what I would get looking at 2018. So my bank is 15. I have a loan of 250. The amount of debt I have is 235. And all that's doing is just a little quick check for you in the exam if you were getting 100% for this question.